Hi guys, so today I'll be wrapping up 2016, just going over the resolutions that I set for that year and how everything kind of turned out. At the beginning of the year I set a goal of a Goodreads goal of 150 books, and if you just saw my December wrap up you'll see I did actually make that goal by reading a lot of manga in that last month. I was sort of like 29 books or so behind. I ended up completing the goal and I actually surpassed it. I finished with 153 books. Overall, I read 41,559 pages. My shortest book was only 80 pages in length. It was Sideswiped by Kim Harrison, the author of the Hollow series, one of my favorite series. This was an e-book prequel to her new series, which I think is called the Drafter series. I just kind of wanted to try it out. I haven't really looked too much into that series. I'm more interested in a book she has coming out in February, which is sort of a prequel series to the Hollow series. But yeah, I just wanted to try that one out. So that was only 80 pages. The longest book that I read was 624 pages, which was The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. And the average length of the books I read during the year was 273 pages. And I thought that would be a lot longer length than that, but the fact that I read so many manga through the year, I think kind of brought that number down. Overall, genres and quantities that I read, I kind of broke them down. So if a book was a middle grade book, but it was also a classic, I kind of moved that into the classic category. So for instance, like The Wind in the Willows would be in the classics genre here. So overall, in terms of manga, I read 76, so a lot more than last year, which I read only 67 in 2015. Again, that was because I was trying to kind of reach my goal, so I literally read 29 manga out of that 76 in 1 month. Adult fiction, I read 38, so it was 5 more than I read in 2015. Adult nonfiction, I read 8 books this year, only 3 in 2015. Classics, I read 12 classics and only 3 in 2015, so that definitely moved up. I found myself just sort of drawn to classics much more this year. Graphic novels was really dropped down. I only read 2 graphic novels. Both of them were actually middle grade. I read 31 in 2015. So sort of offset maybe more manga than graphic novels. YA, I only read 10 books compared to 19 in 2015 and even more than that the year before. So I seem to be dropping off the YA bandwagon, I guess you'd call it, and just turning more towards adult fiction, it seems like, in the past couple of years. And middle grade, I only read 7 compared to 16 in 2015. At the beginning of the year, I set several other goals besides just the Goodreads goal, kind of just a little bit all over the place, basically in a way to try and reduce some of the books I have on my shelves that I hadn't read or on my electronic devices. To begin with the electronic devices, I wanted to read at least 5 of the ebooks that I own, and I'll just show you the list of the ones that I did kind of polish off. Sweet Molly Alone is actually a self-published book that was sent to me by the author for review. That was a horror book, Frozen Charlotte. There's Sideswipe, the ebook novella. God in Ruins was fantastic. Absolutely loved that one by Kate Atkinson. And then A Sea of Trees by Robert James Russell. That's sort of kind of short book novel about the Aokigahara Forest in Japan, which is the suicide forest. Wasn't as good as some other ones I've read on that subject. Then I also had a list of 10 books to choose from, just kind of all over the place, of books that I own that I wanted to try and get to the year. And here again is that list. I Captured the Castle was like kind of top of the list that I wanted to get to. Absolutely love that one. Day of the Triffids, sci-fi. That could have also been considered a classic, but I popped it on this list. Rivers of London was really interesting, kind of a paranormal mystery. Separate Peace, kind of one of those school reading classics I've never gotten to. And a big one that's been on a reoccurring list, it seemed like for the past several years, was The Plague. Another classic, but I had it on this list. Finally got to that one, so I was happy to get that one. It was really well written too. And then I also had a specifically classic list, again, another 10 titles that I owned that I wanted to read at least 5 of, and again, you can see the ones that I've read are checked off. The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Invisible Man, by H.G. Wells, 1984, Wuthering Heights, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So, yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised that I got through all of my goals this year. Usually I just managed to get the Goodreads goals and some of the book choices that I want to get to kind of never quite make it. So this year it was a complete success. I was totally happy with the year. I was happy to see the direction of some of the books I was leaning more towards with adult fiction and classics, and leaning more away from the YA. So looking forward to kind of continuing that progression in the coming year, but you'll see what my resolutions are in one of my upcoming videos. Next to come up will be my top 10 for 2016, and that'll finish off the year, and we'll move on to 2017. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Let me know down below how you guys did with any of the goals you set for that past year. Bye-bye.